We thank the many Muslim and non-Muslim senior police officers, advocates and intellectuals who have urged Dr. Zakir Naik to speak on this topic of terrorism and Muslims in a sensible manner. We also thank Justice Hosbet Suresh to have consented to be our chief guest today. Our chief guest, Justice Hosbet Suresh, is a former judge of the Bombay High Court who retired in 1991. A prominent human rights activist, he personifies the right blend of simplicity and righteousness. He regularly writes articles in the law journals as well as leading magazines and newspapers of India. His recent book, Fundamental Rights as Human Rights, is remarkable. He has spoken at many international forums. He is well known for his report on the riots in Mumbai in 1992-93, entitled The People's Verdict. As member of the Citizens Tribunal on the Gujarat carnage against Muslims, his report, Crime Against Humanity, released in November 2002 in Ahmedabad, is notable and very widely acclaimed. His reports on excesses against Dalits in Mumbai, students in Kerala, Christians in Gujarat, and others, too, are quite notable. An apt chief guest to address our audience today. Brothers and sisters, let's welcome Justice Hosbet Suresh.
I'm a retired judge, not a tired judge. I give no judgments, but I think I speak. And I believe in speaking. I speak against violation of human rights. I speak against wherever there is injustice, wherever there is violence. I speak against that. And I always expect the judges to come out and speak 9/11, 2001. And what we did immediately, nothing happened in India. Whatever happened, happened in New York, World Trade Center. Yet Bush had announced, and immediately he said there will be war against terrorists. And Bush had again said, those who are not with us are against us. And we wanted to show, oh, we are with America. We are with Bush. So what we did, we brought POTA. Again, what happened in POTA? It's a versatile law. And hold all law. You can arrest anyone under POTA. Again, the same thing happened. What happened under TADA law? And large number of people suffered. And they were arrested, terrorists or no terrorists. Nobody knows what it was. This is the kind of law. Law was brought only to terrorize the people. See, this is relevant because today people do talk of POTA. They want a law like POTA. After what happened on 7/11 in the trains in Bombay, or what happened in Malagaon 2 days ago, they say without law, harsh law, we cannot control terrorism. And I can tell you, harsh law had never been able to control terrorism anywhere in this country or anywhere in the world. 9/11, what did Bush do? He declared a war. War against whom? War against terrorists. War against Osama bin Laden. What did he do? He bombarded Afghanistan. He killed large number of poor people. No one is sure whether Osama bin Laden was killed or not, but large number of innocent people died. So also in Iraq, they said, okay, Taliban are in Iraq. They also said, Iraq has got what we call weapons of mass destruction. No evidence of that. And yet, of course, in fact, the evidence has come, there are no Taliban also there in Iraq. And yet, what he did was bombarded, war against Iraq. Large number of innocent people died. The number lost to terrorist atrocities in New York, on the World Trade Center coming down, is less than a tenth of the toll in Iraq. That kind of killing. If there is anyone who can be called a terrorist, I said this in an earlier occasion, and I repeat again. If there is anyone who can be called a terrorist, it should be George W. Bush. He has declared a war. And it is not not a war according to law. It is an unjust war and not according to the international law. And everyone has a right to protest against that war. If anyone could protest, anyone could condemn that kind of war. Be a Hindu, Christian, Muslim, fundamentalist or otherwise. You have a right to protest. Just because we protest and condemn, we cannot be considered as terrorists. One of the most difficult problems is to define terrorism. See, we talk of terrorists. Where is the definition of terrorism? How do you define terrorism? Tada did not define terrorism. Porta did not define terrorism. Only terrorist acts were defined. And those acts could be even under the Indian Penal Code. They are not different. Murder, killing, dacoity, using guns, all are under the ordinary law. But you can, at the discretion of the police, they can use it as an act of terrorism under Tada law. If it could be broadly agreed that the deliberate killing of innocent civilians, you find this kind of definition in the dictionary. If it could be agreed that the deliberate killing of innocent civilians is a central element in most definitions of terrorism, then in that event, the worst terrorists of the last century should be the USA for bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where suffering of large number of innocent people has never been healed even after 6 decades. Just killed lakhs of people in these two places. So also, the worst violators of the 21st century as it began are the USA and Great Britain. There's not much difference between George W. Bush and Lakshmi Taiba. Both believe in killing. Killing helps them. Killing keeps alive the tension in this region. That is what they want. That is their business. So the USA has a business of encouraging killing everywhere. It gives them a market. It gives them a market for supply of arms. So also Lakshmi Taiba believe in killing. It gives them a market. So while both seek to wield power, one of course with the superior power of USA and the other of course trying to build up his own other category of power. So it has become the global war. In this way, as again, terrorism becomes a permanent feature of these persons. In other words, the permanent feature of American policy is a global war. It will never come to an end. As long as the fear of terrorism is there, they're happy. As a result of this, what is happening in the rest of the world is that freedom and liberty gets curtailed. Today, police can do whatever they like. Anyone can be killed in an encounter, deaths, and no investigation. In the name of security, every movement of yours can be tracked. Your bank accounts, for example, your transactions, all come under the check. In the name of security, see, the other day the rule has come. In Bombay city, you can't sell or buy property. You can't rent out your house. You want to rent out, you have to go and inform the police officer. So the police have to be informed. So liberty is becoming a casualty. You are literally going to be enslaved. Soon if this kind is encouraged, ultimately you slowly your rights are being taken away. Your liberty is being taken away. You are enslaved. In a situation like what should the people do? In a situation like this, where people get no justice, nothing happens to them. At that time, what happens to them is they refuse to take this into account. I remember I went to Gujarat after the riots. Large number of young children have seen their mothers and sisters being raped and burnt. Nobody guided them. Nobody gave them education. Nobody gave them any psychiatric treatment or anything. The trauma was there. What should they do? Who gave them justice? Could the system give justice or not? I do not justify taking arms, but a government has a responsibility. The government must take it into account, because if you don't care for the victims will try to take care of things by themselves. And that is the point. And so what was, when victims refuse to be victims, they are called terrorists. The government must take a major role, not by bringing harsh law, not by creating counter-terrorist wardens, not by blaming a particular community or anything, not by doles, but taking care of human rights.